Okay. The next part is to cut the stems, because we're going to use them, we're going to dice them up, we're going to use them in the stuffing. So I usually do it into lots of little pieces like this. You know, cut it this way first. Okay, and get it that way. And cut it pretty small, because you want it to really get into the stuffing. I tried putting it in the food processor once, but it came too mushy. You have to do it like this. It takes a little bit more time, but it's worth it. The stuffing just tastes a lot better. And so cut it down. Make these, make sure you do all these pieces pretty uniformly too. And then turn it around. Cut it up. And so you're gonna do that to all of them. And then when I come back, we'll put the stuffing together. Okay. Now this is the hardest part. This is the part that I can never describe to people. So you have to watch it. That's why people ask me to do this. So here's the cut up stems, right? You start with that. Now you got to do two things. You have to have fresh parsley. This is like the amount that you need. I still had this from my garden last year in the freezer. I freeze it when it's really, really dry, then freeze it, and then, it's beautiful. And an entire head of garlic. Don't skimp on this part, because this is where most of the flavor really comes from, okay? So that. Now I have 8 artichokes. I don't measure, I just keep going by eye. So I start with the stems, and then I add the breadcrumbs. So I'm going to start with like that much. Okay, so I might add more, I might not, okay? Then just mix it up. You're gonna be using your hands for most of this, so Alright, so mix it up, get that in there, and then put the garlic. Just dump it right in there, all of it. Believe me, you won't put too much. You'll probably put too little rather than too much. Okay? And then parsley. Get it all in. Could even use a little more parsley actually, but that's alright. That's good. See? You see it so far? Okay, now the other thing you can't skimp on, is the cheese. 2 things with the cheese. You have to use this. You have to use Locatelli Pecorino Romano. Don't use Parmesan. Parmesan is good, but it's milder. It doesn't have as strong a flavor as this, and you need that in there. That with the garlic is really what makes it. So get this cheese. It's a little expensive. It's like $8 for this thing, but it doesn't come as good when I don't use it. You can. I mean, it's not horrible, but alright, then just break it up. Break the cheese up. Okay, that's definitely not enough cheese either. Okay, so I'm just going to keep adding cheese until I'm happy with it. Okay, so you can kind of see what it looks like. See? Okay, a little bit more. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. All right. Now we're going to add the olive oil, a little salt and pepper. You don't have to use too much salt because there's salt in the cheese, but you do need some. You do need some. And pepper. pepper in there. This is my pepper mill from my good friend Joe. Okay. Mix them up. Okay, now you add the olive oil. Okay, now, and don't freak out because this is just how much you have to use. You just have to keep putting it in. Okay, I'm going to stop there for a minute. See what it feels like. See how it now it's like it sticks together? Everything sticks together. See? See, now that's good. That's all you need. Just make sure it's all mixed and that everything even underneath has enough oil. I'm just going to give it a little more. Alright, well, there goes the phone, but that's it for the stuffing. Okay. I don't know if this is good. Let me see. Get this positioned right. Oh, that's good. Okay. So here's the stuffing is ready. Now I forgot to tell you that you should put a little lemon juice in there. So just squeeze some lemon juice in there. Just a little bit. You don't really taste it in there when it's cooking. It just, I think it just enhances the flavor a little bit. Okay, mix it up. Now in the meantime, I chose a pot to put them in. See how it looks really tight. I had to really squeeze them in. I'm going to take them out one at a time to stuff them and put them back. I had to really squeeze them in, but once they start cooking, they're going to loosen up a little bit. So before you stuff them or before you start cooking, make sure you have a pot that's going to keep them all standing upright, close together. Because if they fall over while they're cooking, the stuffing's going to start coming out of it. So they have to be really tight just to give them, enough room when they loosen up so that they don't fall over. So then you just, I usually just stuff them right in the bowl. I get the artichoke here like this. I hope you could see this. I don't know if that thing is positioned right, but try it. And then I just shove it in there. Okay, you get it in, get as much as you can in there, and then I take one last piece and I cover the top with it like that. See? That's ready to go back in. And they're even going to get even a little fuller and tighter in there once you get the stuffing in too. So sometimes you have to really work to get them in the pot. Get them in there. So make sure you have enough room to stuff after you put the stuffing in it, they're still going to stand up. You're going to have room to stand. Okay, just keep shoving it in there. Get it down. Some people put it in between the leaves. That's good too, but the stuffing's so delicious that it's like a prize at the end. After you eat the whole artichoke, you have the stuffing at the end, It's like a little bundle of joy. Okay. Alright, once I get them all stuffed, I'll show you how you put them up and you have to cook them for a long time. Okay, they're all stuffed and ready to go. I really had to squeeze them in there because the stuffing added a little more bulk. Now just put water in it, and not too much. Put water about a quarter up the way of the artichoke. No more than that. And just get the water in there. Because it's basically going to steam from the bottom. Let's see. A little bit more. Okay, that's about good. That's good. Okay. Then get them on the stove. Make them come to a boil first. Once the water boils, lower it down to the lowest you can and cover it. And and then before I always do this. I put like a little olive oil around everything and some in the water, and then a little bit more of the lemon juice just on the top. That's good, just a little bit. I just got a pit in there. Okay, put it on your stove. Make it come to a boil. After it boils, simmer it, and now you have to cook it for a really long time. I'm going to say at least 2-3 hours maybe on a really low flame, covered. Keep watching the water. Don't let the water all boil out. Make sure it's always about 1/4 to 1/8 way up the artichoke. That water is going to become really flavored too, really nice. So you can start basting the tops of the artichokes with it once the water cooks down and the flavor gets into the water. It's really good. And that's it. Thank you. Buon appetito.